Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakarishi Sarvada. Om Shri Sadgurubhyo Namaha. Shri Uma Maheshwara Swamine Namaha. Shri Hanumate Namaha. Welcome to Nitya Satsang. Today is the 31st of December 2024. I want to offer my prostrations to all the great sages and to Bhagavan, residing in the heart of every being. With that bhavana and prarthana, we're continuing to examine the Upanishads and look at some interconnected, very practical ideas at the same time. I want to just follow up a bit today from yesterday's initial discussion on Sankhya Vichar. Sankhya Vichar is a technology. It is a spiritual, psychological technology of resetting our inner mechanism in the present moment, where we are able to not hold on to the problems that have happened inside our lives in the past. This is the basic idea. Now, this is described very beautifully and in short by Sadguru Gunatitananda Swami, as I mentioned yesterday. So the actual sentence is actually two sentences. Let me see. I guess it's one sentence. Maybe it's two sentences. I'm going to read it in Gujarati. I'll show you some of the translation and then we'll kind of go from there. So he said it, he spoke it this way. Sankhya vichar karva shikho ne sankhya vina lobh kam swat sneha ne maan ne paach dosh tatha adhyatma adhibhut ne adhidev e tran tape sarve dukh mate nahi ne sankhya vina ardho satsang kevai mate sukhiya reva ne arthe sankhya vichar shikho. So what he's saying here, to be happy, sukhiya, it's a very beautiful expression in Gujarati, Sukhiya revu, anandama revu. It means to be in a state of joy, be in a state of happiness. So he's saying, learn how to do the Sankhya Vichar. Now, he has not actually shown the detailed steps in this one line, because this is an extracted line. Probably somebody wrote that down as a summary. But the more detailed steps is what we will be looking at. So the first point to understand is that the word Sankhya here, it means the accumulated experience that we have had in our life. It is there, but it is not something that we can or that we should be identified with, that this is the only reality. It's not. I mean, for example, let's say I attend a program. Sachin attends a program last week somewhere. Anything. I go somewhere and attend some 2-hour program. Okay. What is the good thing from there that I can take that's important for me? But other than that, anything else that doesn't serve me, I let that slide. I let that go. That is called Sankhya Vichar. It is the ability to separate out internally what is beneficial to hold on to and what is not beneficial to hold on to. That ability increases when we engage in Sankhya Vichar. Vichar meaning thinking, contemplating. But thinking and contemplating about what? Thinking and contemplating about this separation. It is this separation between that which serves us and that which does not serve us. For example, many times we are so concerned with what other people are thinking about us. Isn't it so? Doesn't it happen? It happens in family, it happens with friend circles, it happens in different organizations. What some group of people are thinking, or what some one person or 5 people are thinking about us. Yeah, that has some relevance, there's no doubt. But there is so much relevance we keep to that that we get tied up in that very much. Yes, have we done our duty? Have we done what we need to do? Leave it alone. Then not to add energy in that direction. That is viveka. That is to separate that out. That is okay. Let people think what they will. Let people do what they will. We don't have any control over anybody. That's the way life goes. But our ego, our psychological attachments are so deep inside that we are stuck with what other people's opinions are about us. And the fact of the matter is, they're not even thinking about us that much. They're thinking about their lives and their desires and their vasanas and their entanglements. They're not thinking about us as much as we think that people are thinking about us. That's just simply not true. How much we think about somebody else. Look at that. We spend time thinking about what others are thinking about us. But how much time we think about their lives? Have you thought about this question? We think about our lives. We don't think about other people's lives, so they're also not thinking about us as much as we think they're thinking about us. See, this kind of understanding is all part of Sankhya Vichar. Now, Gunatitanand Swami mentioned it beautifully, because there are 5 major and massive attachments, entanglements, and they are called the doshas. 5 doshas he has mentioned here. And they are lobh, kam, svad, sneha, man. There's 5 major deficiencies within every single human being. This is called the panch dosh. These are 5 faults. There's other ways of classifying these. So to be above that, to get out of the binding of this, the technology of Sankhya Vichar can be applied. Now, this is very fascinating and very profound, actually. Why is that? Why is this technology important? And what exactly is this technology? Well, this technology has to do with recognizing that without truly holding inside, truly installing inside the truth that the Atma is real, the Paramatma is real, everything inside the sansar is just a picture on a screen. It comes and goes, comes and goes, comes and goes. That is the essence of Sankhya. Sankhya is to recognize in the moment, in the present, the absolute transitoriness of all experiences of Prakriti, while maintaining a vision about how to use those experiences for realizing God. If we do not use those experiences for realizing the highest, we will be stuck in those experiences. For example, let's use some very day-to-day examples. We go to a party. We go to somebody's birthday party. And it's a nice party. The cake is there. Everything is there. Candles, all that stuff. Somebody comes to us and says something that, why this person said this, causes disturbance, causes agitation. This is where this technology is to be applied. Okay, the person said that. Why did they say it? Think about it to some extent. Use the mind as a tool to think to some extent, analyze, but do not be caught in the words spoken by that person. To not be caught in the words spoken by that person is the technology of Sankhya Vichar. And it is a technology. What is this technology? Person speaks, we listen carefully, in the present, attentively. What they might be speaking with a nasty voice, with anger, with frustration. We'll feel that, no doubt. Take some steady breaths, come back to balance point. Sankhya Vichar means come back to balance point again and again and again and again. This is our daily practice. This is our sadhana. One of our most important sadhanas, maybe the sadhana. Discover one's balance point, which we have not discovered mostly. It's not just a point, it is a state. It is a point that becomes a state. The balance point becomes a balanced state, which then abides continuously. That's what we're going to work on in the next year in the PTP program through Angel Wing. It's to sustain balance. But you cannot do that until we make our life balanced. We'll not be able to do it. It's like a car, right? If you know how we go for wheel alignment and all that, they have to balance all the wheels first. And then once the wheels are balanced on the rungs and on those rotators or whatever, they have to balance all the wheels first. Then they have to align all the wheels, and then when we drive, that balance has to remain like that. It should not come loose. Some wheels should not come loose and fly off. This is what happens in our life. Even if we find some balance, it goes off very quickly. But just all it takes is one sentence spoken by somebody, and we get off track. So Sankhya Vichar is a technology. The technology is where we are holding on to Ishta Devata, our chosen Lord. We're remembering all the great sages, and we are at the same time not internalizing any disturbance. Somebody has a disturbance on the outside. That is their disturbance, not our disturbance. And this is the art of remaining constantly free. This is Sankhya Vichar. But this is a matter of application. You see, because these 5 deficiencies, these 5 doshas meaning faults or binding forces, they are lobh, kam, svad, sneha, and man. So we can go through all of them. We've talked about some of these things before. So even the experience of lobh, greed, I want this and I want this and I want this and I need this and there's never enough. Nobody seems to ever have enough money. Nobody seems to have ever enough vishaya bhog of all kinds. It just goes on. This is called lobh. Lobh is not just of money. It's also of other things. People are hoarding garbage literally in their homes. Hoarding is called hoarding. They cannot throw one thing away. This is hoarding. It is a form of lobh. Some people they love nature. Loving nature is beautiful. Is God's glory. But they're so lost inside the sceneries. One place to another place to another place. This is called in Dharmamrut, Swaminarayan Bhagwan isko kehte akhno lobh. One has to recognize where one is bound, in what way. Lobh exists in so many ways. We can spend hours on that. So Sankhya Vichar is such, when we recognize it's a probing inside, that all of the forms outside, the names, the forms, and the dynamic play of Prakriti, it is real in one sense, and it is definitely temporary at the same time, and it is something not to be caught in. This is the key. Am I caught in this? Am I caught in that? Where am I caught? That's the question. Am I caught in my own past? Am I caught because 5 people are saying something negative about me, so I'm stuck with them? See, I'm giving them my energy. I'm giving my thoughts and feelings to certain people on the outside. Never, under any circumstances, give the Antarik Shakti leaked out. Don't connect it with anybody outside except God and the state of the enlightened sages. Not even the personality of the sages is their personality. We respect it. Not to be stuck with the personality also. If we get stuck with the personality of the gurus, we are in trouble also. This is why people do guru worship. Okay, adhyatma nahi hai, running after gurus. Respect the gurus. Find out what they are trying to teach. Of course, their form is important. No doubt. But what is in the form? That is the tattva that is important, not the form only. If we forget the tattva and get attached to the form, then that is just, that's all right. Whatever it is a beginning. This is the point. Very difficult to understand all this thing. So Sankhya Vichar is a discriminative wisdom, discriminative act. Discriminative doesn't mean racial discrimination. Please be careful. When we use the word discrimination to discriminate in Vedanta, it doesn't mean racial discrimination or ethnic discrimination, the way that word is used in that sense. No, it means to separate that which is real versus that which is unreal. That is the actual viveka. Right? So, satyam, asatyam. That which is asatya versus satya. That which is nitya versus anitya. That which is eternally existing, that which is not eternally existing. That which we need to hold on to from the experiences of Prakriti, that which we do not need to hold on to at all. Very important. Bahut badi baat hai. This is not so simple. Sachin is speaking about, doesn't mean Sachin has mastered this thing. We're trying to do so, trying to understand. ये बहुत difficult बात है. Difficult in the sense because we have not taken this path to even understand what is Sankhya Vichar. किसी को मालूम ही नहीं कि इसका meaning क्या है. Or how to apply this thing. Because the application comes when we realize, where is my development? And the answer is in Vachanamrut Garada Pratham 1 itself. Shri Ji Maharaj क्या कहते हैं? कितनी सुंदर बात महाराज ने की है. He said in Gujarati, ભગવાનના સ્વરૂપમાં મનની અખંડ વૃત્તિ રાખવી, તેથી કોઈ સાધન કઠણ નથી. How beautiful in Gujarati. What it means is that to keep our mental mechanism continuously flowing towards Bhagavan without any break, without any deviation, that is the greatest sadhana. And if that is what we're trying to do, why we'll be worried about anybody else? Worried in the sense why somebody's saying this, somebody's saying that, somebody's thinking this. These are all deflections. These are all deflections. These vasanas are deflections. Our memories are deflections. There are thousands of deflections. They all, in one shot, are separated out by adopting akhand vritti, unbroken contemplation on God. It's one step realization of God, not two steps. It is one step realization of Paramatma. Akhand vritti. Akhand means unbroken vritti towards God. Because when the destination is set that I want to reach God, then everything that is contrary to that, everything that is deflecting away from that is going to be separated out. It is sifted out. Like, for example, if you have, let's say we have, they do the sifting of the flour, right? When you buy flour, now everything is already pre-made. But let's assume for a moment you've got 1 pound of flour, white flour, and there are 25 stones inside there, like medium-sized stones. And let's say there's 100 medium-sized stones inside the flour. So what do? You sift it out, and then the stones are separated from the flour by the sifter. Isn't it so? This is what Vedanta is. Satsang is this sifting. What are those stones? Those are the deflections, the entanglements, the problems, the agitations, the difficulties. All that thing is sifted out and thrown out. And what is remaining is the flour. You can make nice bread out of that. This is a simple analogy. See, we can learn so beautifully from simple analogies. I'll just take another 30 seconds here, then we'll stop. This concept of Sankhya Vichar, reason I'm trying to present it is because we want to make Vedanta practical. We'll definitely get into the Mandukya Upanishad again. definitely go into the first verse. But those are big ideas. Jagrat avastha, swapna avastha, shushupti avastha, the three gunas, and all those things are extremely complex ideas that they take time to really open and unravel. But what is necessary, what is important in life, is the application of basic technology that is directly going to liberate us. And that is the power of Vachanamrut, that is the power of Swamini Vato, that is the power of great sages throughout the world. They have taught, like Ramakrishna Paramahansa and others, the teachings that they have given are relatively straightforward. But once we open them and apply them, we will see their infinite depth and their liberating power. In Gujarati, we would say, moksha karvani takat. It has the power to liberate. It has the power to purify. That is the Sankhya Vichar. So this is a concept. If I know some people are taking notes and all that, if you are writing notes or if you're keeping track of each and every one of these ideas, write this down. Try to apply. What is the sadhana? The sadhana is very simple. That is, it's got two parts. Keep attention on Paramatma. That is the goal. That's the only thing that is of ultimate relevance. And at the same time, stay in the present. Stay in the present completely. Anything that doesn't serve us, recognize that and divert the mind, purify the mind, coalesce the mind back into the form of Paramatma. That's all it is. And by doing that, we have a new vision. We are no longer stuck with anybody, because everything in this sansar is only a bubble. It's just a bubble. And with that, Vairagya dawns, Jnana dawns, Bhakti dawns. We are able to live a very beautiful, Anandamay, non-conflictual, very open and steady life. Right? So with that, lots of prayers for everyone's success in this practice and sadhana. Now let's do the closing mantra. Om Dhyanamulam Gurur Murti Mantramulam Gurur Vakyam Pujamulam Gurur Padam Mokshamulam Gurur Krupa Tameva Mata Chapita Tameva Vidya Dravinam Tameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Om Aim Rim Klim Chamundaye Vichye Swaha Om Divilingaya Namaha Urdhvalingaya Namaha Anandalingaya Namaha Dwadash Jyotirlingaya Namo Namaha Om Trambakam Yajamahe Sugandim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrittar Mukshya Mamrutat. Om Namah Shivaya, 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 Om Durga Durga Rakshani Tata Swaha, Om Shri Radha Krishna Arpanamastu.